Hey guys, Dobio here. Today I've got a deck profile for you. Who are you and what do you do?
Hey, I'm Kye Johnston, and I managed to get top 32 at YCS Sydney playing Going Second Infernoids.
Alright Kai, how about you show us your list?
Alright, starting off with the monsters, play 3 Dectron. It's pretty standard. This card's so insane, it's versatile, it's literally 3 of that can be any card in your deck. For the little ones, I played 2 Petrulia, 1 Harmonic, and 1 Antra. I was really agonizing over the ratios of the little ones because they're the most important when it comes to forcing disruption. I ended up at this ratio because I originally wanted to play 2 Antra, but I figured that even though Thunder's my worst matchup, I wouldn't see it very much, and Harmonic's very impactful in some rogue matchups. Petrulia is obviously the best because it forces back row from all the meta decks. Moving on to the medium ones, I played 1 Jet. I did play Feast in the main, even though I'm going second because it comes up a lot when you have Vanishment after activating some other cards, and sometimes they don't have a extra deck monster, especially in more back row oriented matchups. I played 2 Sitesimus and 1 Attendel. This is the best Infernoid in the deck, other than Dectron, because it goes +1 every time it attacks, and it's also the only way you can out Colossus. So I wanted to play 2 because of not only Thunder Dragon, but the fact that there were a lot of Shark Cannons and Called by the Graves running around at the event. Attendel, you need to play because of a certain situation that you'll find against Orcus players, where you need to be able to play this card to punish them for playing defensively. I played 2 of each of Mummy and Daddy. This is pretty standard. You need to have these in deck to resolve Imagination, and all around they're just really nice at 2. I wouldn't play any more or less. Lastly for the monsters, I played the Gamma package. This is the most powerful hand trap, I'd say, and it also comes with the benefit of not conflicting with your mill engine because the Gammas cannot be normal summoned or set. The reason why I decided to play this deck in the first place, Void Imagination. This card is insane. Basically, every hand just comes down to, can I end up resolving this against Orcus Sky Striker decks? It is obscene. Definitely don't play any less than 3 of this, or the card that searches it. Both insanely important. I ended up playing 3 Leia. One of the few things that I would think about changing is trying to fit in a Terraforming in this list. I didn't end up playing 1. It basically synergizes really well with Monster Gate. Most of my opponents knew that they had to respect the Leia because I could either use Monster Gate to tribute their monstrous cost, or I could summon an Infernoid and then with player priority tribute their monstrous cost. So most people knew about it, but it's still something that they had to respect. 3 Pot of Extravagance, an insanely good card in this deck. It's a bit pricey, but you have the space to just play multiples of everything, and drawing 2 is nice. Forces a lot of stuff as well. 1 for 1, mandatory, another copy of Dectron, and the one of Reasoning. I almost didn't play this, but mathematically, on average, you will normally mill enough names to at least summon like a medium Infernoid, which most of the time will bait some form of disruption like an IP or something. So I decided that even though it's pretty unreliable and people will just start calling 1, it's still definitely a good starter that you should be playing. 3 Imperm, basically the only other hand trap that can't be normal summoned or set. So that was like the biggest restriction of this deck, is only playing 4 normal summonable monsters to mill as many names as possible, but this was really good all weekend. It's better than Gamma in the way that you can Imperm Galatea and they will still have extra deck monsters on the field, whereas if you Gamma their starter, sometimes they just won't have anything for Void Imagination. Then the 1-off Feast. Self-explanatory.
Alright, let's get to the extra deck.
I'm going to the extra now. Because of Extravagance, there's a lot of big duplicates. Tiara, this is the insane card. Send 6, pop 3 with 3 copies of Elder Entity Intus. This is like really a disgusting engine. So good. I summon this once all day. I usually send it off of Tiara. This puts back Ray. It forces Gizmex and stuff in grave after you destroy the Babel. All around is a really good card. We also played 2 Equimax. I honestly considered putting in a third because it's just that good a win condition. But against Orcs and Salamangreat, you don't need to go for game. You can just empty their grave instead. So, but yeah, this is definitely very good. 2 Phoenix. This is different from a lot of lists. I put the second Phoenix in last minute instead of a Doolittle Chimera. This came up a couple more times than the Doolittle Chimera did, so I'm glad I put it in. It's really good for outing floodgates and invading back row and everything like that. 2 Heater. I didn't use this nearly as much as I thought I would. I'd still say it's very important to have. It lets you do really low resource OTKs, especially against stuff like Salamangreat, because they've got to respect you bring back Stalio for damage. You can also crash it and search Decatron, which I did a couple times. Lambda. This is the best generic Link monster. It also has the added benefit of synergizing extremely well with Gamma and Infernoids. I can show you that later, as well as the Attendel reason. Link Rebo. I felt like this was really important, but not important enough to merit it being a 2 of. Basically, if Decatron gets him impermed, you need to be able to get the name engraved so that you can summon more Infernoids, because you're not allowed to banish from the field. So that was it for the extra. And for the side deck, 2 Twin Twister. This is the most random number. This is basically the last 2 cards I put in the side deck, but back row is your worst matchup, so I figured this would be better than any other alternative. Dark Rule No More. This covers every bad... so you struggle against combo if you don't just have a Gamma or an Imperm to blow them out, and Appaloosa is also like a massive problem with you if you don't just open layer. This just covered so much. This did wonders against the Scrap Orcust deck, because they end on Appaloosa for 3 as well as IP, so it was really good. Also really good against Thunder, which is your hardest matchup. These are all going first engine. So the Stormbusters didn't always go in, but basically if I either wanted to go first or I thought someone would make me go first, I always sided in these. A lot of the time I sided out 1 Imperm because I wanted to keep it as a trap trick target, and these were just nuts whenever I sided them in against something with back row. Just blows out Striker so hard. You pop like multi-roll, neck and be only one with this, and the game's just over. And the final card I ended up playing was 3 Evenly Matched, because you do struggle insanely hard against back row. I didn't side this in against Orcust or Salamangreat, because my list is basically perfect against those decks. But yeah, this is really relevant for weird back row stuff that Imagination can't just blow out. So I'll show you the Attendel situation, why it's necessary. So once a lot of Orcust players will understand what you're trying to do, you basically force all of their graveyard effects with like Omegas or like popping their Babble with Intis before you go for the OTK. So they will summon all their things in defense, and the only way you can punish them for doing this is by summoning so like you have an Equimax, you summon this anywhere but a zone it points to. You summon the Inunku to a zone that Equimax points to. You can swing over 2 defense mode monsters and then do exactly 8,000 damage with these 2, because this is 5,000, it attacks directly, Attendel tributes it off, and then Inunku attacks, and that's exactly 8,000. So that's the reason I played Attendel, and I came up a lot. The thing I can do with Lambda, which is insane in Infernoids, is if someone made you go first, or if you're struggling to follow up after blowing out their board, then you'll have an Infernoid on field and a Gamma in hand, and you'll activate it, you'll special summon the Gamma and the Driver from deck. This is like a blowout card, so usually they'll like pass, and what you can do is you can use the Attendel, tribute the Driver, and then during the end phase, this Gamma will be banished, and you'll get to use Lambda to search for another one, and it'll still be live. That's like the insane synergy that this card has, and why it's the best generic Link monster. Anyway, that's the list.
All right.
It was nuts. I went in 10 rounds of Swiss. I went 8-1-1, only losing 2. Monster Gate for Decatron off the top, when it was the only target on my deck, and I had about 8 other Infernoids. That was against the local legend widely for my draw. And my other loss was to 3 turns in a row. He top decked Sanctum into Lancia, Sanctum into Lancia, Sanctum into Lancia after resolving Desires. So I guess he was just better than me. I managed to beat Jesse Cotton in round 10. I think he opened, unfortunately, but it was still an honor to play against him. And my loss in top 32 was because I was just tired and I misplayed in time and lost. Yeah, so shout outs, the boys, Carlton, Alasdair, Matt. Shout outs especially to Alasdair for getting knocked out of the tournament in round 4 to double DD Dynamite. Sick move. Shout outs to Darts and Nexus Games. Absolute classic locals. If you're ever in Southside Brisbane, you should check them out. We do locals on Thursday and Sunday. It's lit. I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Thanks for the profile.
Dobio.
Dobio.